Well, we're excited to have once again Matt O'Leary on my channel. Thank you so much for joining us today, Matt.
Pretty psyched.
Well, we're both here to talk about a very exciting band, and that is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
In all their glory.
They hadn't released anything since 2007 with that big 5-album outpour, is that right?
Yeah, this is actually their first gap year, you could
Yeah.
call it. I think they've been around since 2011, something like that. About an 8-year career, and this is their 14th album.
I know, 14th album in like 8 years.
Yeah, they're almost on a 2 a year.
Jeez. And then you get like other bands that like, I don't want to name any names, but like Tool.
They're just making up for Tool, you know?
They're just making up for Tool.
They gotta balance the scales somehow.
You gotta tip the scales in the balance, right?
I'm absolutely amazed by it because you'd think they'd really sacrifice the quality.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. And I think there are times in their discography where it's a little redundant.
Mm-hmm.
Even maybe on this album a little bit where they retread some territory.
Yeah.
But given the amount of work they have, the diversity of it is also pretty impressive.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not familiar with all their albums, but the albums that I am familiar with, they all have like a very unique identity about it.
Yeah, and they're big about like the, I guess, concept album, and this is just another one.
Yeah, and I'm loving the concept of this one. So this is Fishing for Fishes. Out of the gate, I kind of love. I think it's like it's not taking itself at all in any seriousness.
They're almost trolling us because they give us a year and a half or whatever of no albums, and everyone's like, what is this monstrosity they're coming up with?
This is going to be a Goliath. It's going to be
just
insane.
Like, fishing.
Yeah. My own personal broad stroke of this album is, you know, this R&B, groovy, bluesy kind of an album, but it's like this fisherman is fishing for those kinds of songs, and every once in a while he'll get one, but every once in a while he'll catch something that doesn't quite fit what he was hoping.
Quite literal way of thinking about it.
And I think the album ends on them actually getting the big fish, but every once in a while they're getting like the little nibbles, right? Like you've got the Boogeyman Sam, the Plastic Boogie, and the Cyber Boogie. I think these 3 boogies are the fishies that they're hoping to catch.
Yeah, it's so quickly wavers between absolutely goofy and ridiculous and dark.
Yes.
You know, the theme is you get it's very heavy-handed. At times it's a little bit ham-fisted, I feel like, just the environmental focus, which is like relevant, obviously. But they do it in a goofy way that's just, you know, it's not like sanctimonious, it's not like preachy, it's just King Gizzard.
I think the one for me that stands out, because I love the groove of it so much, was the Plastic Boogie, where it is like directly in your face. Even though the whole song is like all this plastic is being shoved down our throats, they're not shoving down this message down our throats.
Yeah, like singing like, fuck all that plastic, like.
Yeah, it is our dinner. But I do like that concept that, you know, our dinner, which is wrapped up in plastic and whatnot, become the dinner for the fishies.
Just like this cycle of.
Yeah, it's a very strange cycle of life, kind of thing.
I love the line, fishing with fishies, you ain't a god, don't kill salmon, carp, or cod. Like, really?
Oh,
They
man.
just. You can see them really just sitting late at night and penning that in their room. I think just the rollicking, sort of freewheeling, spontaneous, fun nature of it is what I come to the band for.
Like my favorite kind of 1-2 punch trio or duo songs is This Thing and Arcane. Is it Arcane?
I think it's Arcanine.
Arcanine, thank you.
Wait, is that a Pokemon? Yeah, those 2 songs for me, those are my favorites too. The ending of The Thing, that like clap along refrain at the end. I'm just singing that all the time. I think it's the best moment of the album. You got the harps that come in. The bass is that very like buoyant, like kind of sounds like a bobber coming in and out of the water sort of sound.
Yeah.
You got the background vocals, the really eerie sort of Oz on top of it. And
I love that dual process of the fun boppy, but that like underlying darkness.
yeah, there's still that kind of like,
Yeah, it's like this undersea, like you don't know what's under there. And then when Arcanine comes in, it is that like straight up darkness. You're like, oh, okay, we're in it now. Oh, geez.
yeah, and then you get this experimental electronic section, which is totally new for them. Did not see it coming at all, and it's so strange to have an album that, and they've always really done this, I think, that is just the synthetic and the organic elements are just paired. They go together, and they segue into Psy Boogie, which is kind of a little bit out of left field if you didn't have that transition, but they transition into it with this almost like Alan Parsons Project electronic section,
and that's where that journey comes in, because if we were to transition from this thing right into Cyber Boogie, it would give you whiplash. Just how fast and different it was. I swear, when Cyber Boogie started, I thought we were in like a Daft Punk song. For the first little bit, I was just like, this is weird territory for King Gizzard to be in, but I'm along for the ride.
Yeah, it's just like it's crazy. It's perfect for them. I mean, the video, have you seen the video?
I've only seen the video for Fishing for Fishies.
It's such a meme.
Okay, I'll have to check that out afterwards.
You gotta see it. I don't think you've covered the band on your
No, this is going to be
before.
the first one.
It might be good to just kind of say, King Gizzard, besides being so prolific, they kind of combine this garage rock, blues rock, folk. I don't know if anyone's seen my reviews of the band, you'll probably know that I'm more into the softer side of the band for sure. I love like Nonagon Infinity and a ton of their heavier albums, but my favorite sounds are Paper Mache Dream Balloon, just sort of that really lighthearted, pastoral, folky jazz sound. So they bring it back a little bit on this album with like the song The Bird Song or Real's Not Real, going back to that like Sketches of Brunswick East. I think that's it. Their album they did with Mild High Club.
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with those ones, so those will definitely be ones that I'll have to check out once I'm finished digesting some of the other ones that I've got on my plate.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like a Sesame Street theme sort of sound. If you like that, just super like the flute, jazzy sound. Yeah.
Any last thoughts about Fishing for Fishes?
Oh man, this album is pretty much everything I want from the band. It's right in line with everything I love. My favorite parts of the band. It's not a Thinkers album. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
But
they're not coming out with some grand statement. I think the overall concept that they had with this was just to make a fun, kind of bluesy, kind of R&B romp, but ultimately just to have a fun time.
Yeah, I think the same thing. I mean, it's clearly blues, most of it. And there are times when I'd say like the Cruel Millennial, that song, where it does feel like it's kind of repeating itself or repeating past stuff. But I think the songwriting is excellent. Each song stands out for me.
Yeah. There's no filler, for sure. Like other albums, I can't think of anything that I would want to take away from.
Yeah, and like I was saying before, it's like you've got the spacey synthetic part of it, kind of the psychedelic, like surreal side, but it's also grounded. It's also by the blues and the folk sounds, which are a little more homey and relatable.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting blend of this electronical dance mix with a very homegrown funk mix, right? And trying to do those very different musical styles into one. That's a hard task, and I think they really fulfilled it very well here.
Yeah. Are you into this compared to their previous stuff?
I'm probably about the same, because I've only listened to about a handful of their stuff, like Nonagon Infinity and Polywon Gondoland are my two favorites of, I think, the 3 or 4 that I've heard. The very meaty, very proggy, the very...
Yes, no, it's you got it, man. If we did a worst to best, I think we'd just be right in lockstep.
Yeah, give me a couple, maybe at the end of the year, when I get to digest all of their stuff. So I wouldn't quite say this is as good, but I would say I enjoy it as much, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have like a general rating scale?
I would give this a 7.5 and 8. It's good.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly where I was leaning. That translate perfectly to like a download. So thank you once again, Matt, for coming on to my channel. Love having you on here anytime. Just come on by.
Oh yeah, totally. We should do even more. I'm always down. Sometimes we just forget about it. It slips us by, but we gotta keep it going.
Do you want to sign off on this one?
Notes out. That's all you say. You don't say
That's
like my Instagram, my
yeah.
Twitter, my
my
socials. No,
yeah, all that's listed below. Go
self-promotion, not your thing.
Not my thing. But if you want to do that, it's down below.
No, I don't.
All right.
That's okay.
All right, no, that's
it was fun.
All right.